Hey folks, it's Daryl with Auto Dreams. Thanks for tuning in. Got some breaking automotive news that you're going to want to know about if you're a sports car enthusiast. More rumors continue to fly about Toyota's lightweight mid-engine sports car, the Toyota MR2, making a comeback. This latest news comes from an article out the Chinese publication Best Car Web. According to their sources or their information, Toyota is planning to bring back the MR2 within the next 3 to 4 years. And there's a new rendering of the car, and I must say it looks really good. Now the story is written in Chinese. I've done my best to translate that. Now if this comes to pass, this new Toyota is likely to rival many of our beloved sports cars and supercars even. We're talking about the C8 Corvette, the Nissan GT-R, the Ford GT500, Audi R8, Acura NSX, and the like. And we'll get to why I'm saying that here just in a moment. But for those of you who aren't familiar with the Toyota MR2 or just need a refresher, let's go back in time real quick just to give you an idea of what the original Toyota MR2 was like. So the MR2 came out in 1984, spanned through 2007, 3 different generations of cars. Now I think you'll agree with me that the 1990s version, the second generation, was our favorite one. That was like the baby Ferrari. We're talking about a lightweight, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive car that had a base price around $16,000, offered a turbocharged version for around $20,000 MSRP. So like I said, they stopped producing the Toyota MR2 back in 2007. The car's been dormant for many years, kind of like the old Supra before it came back. Same story with the Acura NSX before it came back. It wasn't until 2017 with a story done by Evo magazine that the rumors started to circulate about a successor to the Toyota MR2. According to the author of that Evo magazine story, it was Toyota's desire to start producing not 1, not 2, but 3 fun sports cars in the coming years. Now we know the Toyota Supra, that came back for 2020, and that likely was one of those 3. Now I'm guessing a successor to the Toyota MR2 is going to take up spot number 2. Spot number 3, well, I'm not quite sure, but it could be what just came out in this Chinese article. As we'll talk about in a minute, the cost of this new rumored Toyota sports car is much, much higher than Toyota's ever done before. So some are saying it's not even a Toyota MR2 successor, but some new model that we're yet to hear about. And then there was an article by Car and Driver that suggested the new Toyota MR2 would come out around 2024, that it would be a hybrid or purely electric and would cost around $40,000 to $50,000. I don't see that really flying well because we have the Toyota Supra basically in the same price range. Why would you put out another car that competes with one you already have? So let's start with the rendering from the magazine article. Yes, I know it's just a rendering, but this looks good. Definitely looks to be mid-engine again, possibly using a lot of lightweight carbon fiber material. Definitely looking very sporty. Let's take a look at the article in Chinese. Now I don't know Chinese, so I had to put it through a reputable translator, Google Translate. So it's probably not 100% accurate, but hey, there's some things that definitely stand out. Now one, you can see the name MR2 being pointed out, but like I said, that could just be a reference to the former generation, and this one, if it comes to pass, may be called something entirely different. 2, you can see in the article that they mentioned a likely MSRP, 10 million yen. Now, if you convert yen to US dollars, 10 million yen is about $91,000. For that type of price, I would expect this car to be at least 500 to 650 horsepower, potentially hybrid or fully electric. So what do you guys think? Are you interested in seeing a successor to the MR2? Should they drop the MR2 name and just call it something entirely different? Remember, the MSRP of that car back in the 90s was around $19,000 for the turbo model base. In today's dollars with inflation, that's around $40,000. We're talking about potentially a $90,000 sports car. Drop a comment, let me know what type of performance is it going to need to have to really compete with those cars I mentioned. Let me know what you think about the styling. I know we're just talking about a rendering here, but it looks kind of nice to me. Let me know what you think. So if this car here that we're talking about today, or if it's actually a successor to the MR2, if it actually gets produced, I see 1 or 2 things needing to happen. 1, if you call it the MR2, keep the price range below $40,000, make it around base $35,000 to compete with the Nissan 400Z. And the other option is to have it cost somewhere around this $90,000 that we're hearing about, but don't call it MR2. Call it something entirely different and give it the performance that it's going to need to compete with some formidable opponents in that price range. And if you're going to have it compete with the C8 Corvette, don't have it compete with the base model. Have it compete with the Z06 model that's going to be even faster. Give people a reason to want to spend 90 grand Now I know with the Toyota name, it's likely to be highly reliable, so that's a plus. People will take that into consideration. But do it right. Anyway, I think we're in store for some exciting times in the automotive space. Kind of reminds me back to the 1990s when having a bunch of sports cars to choose from was actually a cool thing. You had a lot of options. So drop a comment. Let me know your honest thoughts on Toyota's proposed new sports car / supercar. What do they need to do it right? Do it right the first time, right? What do they need to do? As always, thanks for tuning in. It's been my pleasure to bring you this news story. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And on your way out, go ahead and smash that like button. I certainly would appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next breaking automotive news story.